Generic greetings and welcome to Nucleus. Today's beverage is a very healthy, hopefully, judging by the taste of it, super green smoothie that is apple, kiwi, cucumber, and other flavours, all of which seem to be exceptionally bitter. Either way, welcome to Nucleus. This is a nuclear reactor simulator, and I don't mean that in the sort of Simpsons slash shop simulator type of light-hearted simulation, where, like, you don't just go up to the reactor hall and maybe alter some control rods, probably with your bare hands, and yay, you're now generating electricity via nuclear power. But no, it is a highly detailed and complex simulation of pressures, temperatures, chemical and nuclear reactions, etc. And yeah, I thought I'd give this one a go. Someone reached out and said, you want to try it? And I was very hesitant to do so because I've played a lot of these detailed simulations before and featured some of them on the channel. And although I am sort of drawn to them and really appreciate the detail in the simulation and the complexities, it does require a lot of time and effort to get even the bare minimum out of it. In fact, this game, if you purchase it, in fact, I think there's a link on the store page. I'll put a link in the description as always. I think you can get the manual on there, and the manual is over 150 pages long, and that shows all of the dials and what they do, and it tells you about the simulations and how things work and the processes to do things like turn the reactor on and off and scram it and refuel and all of the different alerts and what everything does. And truth be told, I really tried to go through that, a bit of a skim read, must confess, and try to power this thing up, and it was not a success. So this is basically the easiest setting in the game, and it guides you step by step and holds your hand every step of the way, apparently, to basically turn on the reactor and, well, hopefully not cause some sort of nuclear and international incident. So this, as I said, is not going to be any sort of tutorial in any way, shape or form on how to play this game and go through and get the complete, whatever that happens to be. But hopefully we can just have a bit of a mess about and get this turned on and hopefully marvel in the simulation. Incidentally, there is what I thought was quite interesting at the start of the manual, going back to that, it did put at the start that said, yes, this is obviously highly detailed simulation, and they've done the best to accurately recreate how things are working in real life. However, it's not in any way, shape or form a tutorial on how to operate a nuclear reactor, and it shouldn't be treated as such. I don't know why they needed that disclaimer, but it's interesting that it's in there. Either way, as I said, this is not going to be for everybody, but like I say, I do like the idea of this sort of game, and let's just see if we can fire it up, and we'll go through and, we can hopefully, if nothing else, marvel at the simulation, and, well, maybe it'll be of some interest to you watching me probably mess this up. So, it says, we're obviously in the control room here. It says on the right there, Startup. Welcome to Nucleus. In this tutorial, we will go through the necessary steps to start up the reactor. Enter to next step. First, let us power up all the control panels to receive readings from the sensors. From this control room, you'll be able to monitor everything that's happening at all times. Please activate the power levers on each control station. Each control station is around here, and what we're going to do is go from left to right, and then there's all these exclamation marks which give you a rough idea of what they all do. Now, certainly we won't be messing around with all of them. Things like refueling the reactors and stuff, that's like a later game thing, I think. We are just, like, say, focusing on trying to get this thing turned on and actually generating electricity and sending it to the grid. So let's go over to our first panel. It says safety first. This plant has worked 0000 days without a lost time incident. And it says emergency medical kit. Yes, okay. The potassium iodide injector allows us to clean the blood when there is radiation poisoning. Each dose has a cost of prestige points. Yeah, hopefully we won't need that. You can go out here and have a little wander around, or yeah, they've also got some sort of protective suit here. Yeah, and we can see outside. It's hopefully not going to be any less green. Actually, do you want more green or less green? No, I think that's a, what? Ooh, good grief. I think that's a figment, isn't it? The whole, like, glowing green thing. Anyway, that's something we'll look at later. Right, over to here. So this is the drain system panel. You can hold right click and you get this sort of zoom in mode, and you can, well, zoom in even further. And yes, all of these switches will actually do things. And when you're in this mode, it tells you at the bottom, what you can actually do and such, and what they, gives you a sort of explanation on that one. So over to here. I won't go through all of these. in exhaustive detail because we don't have time for that, and also basically we won't be messing around with all of them. So primary circuit drain valves. The primary circuit drain valves in a nuclear reactor are used to drain water from the system in case of an emergency or maintenance. These valves allow for emptying of the water from the primary circuit, which can be crucial in case of an emergency situation to prevent damage to the reactor or allow access for personnel to perform repairs and maintenance. The importance of these valves lies in their ability to ensure safety and efficiency in the operation of the nuclear reactor. Good. You can see all of these panels here. These are all not necessarily interactive, but they will change based on what's happening in the reactor. So whether things are on or off, valves are open or closed, the flow of liquids, that's a word now, liquids, and show temperatures and other things, and that's even more complicated. Let's just look over to this side, it's easier. And yeah, like I say, the flow of fluids and gases and all that sort of thing. This is, well, what does it say here? Primary circuit valves. Primary circuit valves in a nuclear reactor are used to regulate the flow of water in the system and control the pressures of the circuit. These valves are essential for the proper operation of the reactor, as they allow for the regulation of water flow through the cooling system and modulation of the reactor power. The importance of these valves are blah, 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 blah. Yes, they're all important, and it appears to be... Is that the reactor? That's the reactor. There's the pressurizer. We'll be messing... I say messing. Yeah, we probably will be messing on with it, but I don't think that is the technical operational term, but we'll be... yes, you're trying to get that used. That is the condenser. That is the steam generator. Like I said, the more time you put into this sort of game, the more you're going to get out of it. So this is just obviously very brief, and I will use the term mess about to try and get it working. Yeah, so this is all simulated and stuff. All these valves are open, so I guess we're going to be probably doing the C. This is all like the C valves and ratings, or the C. What would you class that? Yeah, what's it? Feed water loop, loop 1 primary, loop 2 secondary, and loop 3 it's cooling. It's all color coded there. Yeah, there's three different sections there. Anyway, over to here. This is containment building. Shielding. The shielding of a nuclear reactor refers to the barrier of materials placed around the reactor core to reduce the radiation emitted to the environment and protect people and the environment. The shielding typically consists of materials such as concrete, steel, lead, which are capable of absorbing and attenuating radiation. Okay. Importance in shielding is very important, blah, blah, blah. Yes, so you've got things like contained radiation, and again, you can go into this sort of detailed view where you sort of zoom in and it tells you the sort of name of the valves and the readouts and the gauges. So that says contained radiation. Radiation index contained within the containment structure of reactor core. Value is currently 0. Shows you all of these, and that says core floodgate open and releasing radiation to the exterior. Hopefully that light does not come on. So that's containment building. Shows you the hourly average radiation, and yeah, look, it's compliance and all sorts. Fuel. We probably won't go through this too much because basically we won't be touching it in this video most likely. Proper control and disposal of nuclear fuel waste is crucial to protect the human health and the environment from the harmful effects of radiation. Nuclear waste is highly hazardous and radioactive. Really, is it? And improper handling and disposal can have severe consequences. So yes, as I said, this is where you will load and alter the fuel. You can see you've got, is it 9 fuel channels? I don't know if that's the proper term. Either way, we won't be like reloading stuff, but I think long term that's what you will do. Fuel in a nuclear reactor. The fuel in a nuclear reactor works as a source of energy by releasing heat through controlled nuclear reactions. The fuel is comprised of radioactive materials such as uranium and plutonium. Careful handling of the fuel is necessary as it is highly radioactive and dangerous to human health and the environment. The use of safety measures and proper precautions such as use of personal protective equipment, PPE, and handling in specific facilities and procedures is required to ensure the radiation exposure is minimized. Let's actually press some buttons and flick some levers and switches. So I've now turned on the readouts, and oh, there you go, it's all coming on. I don't like the arcing and sparking noise that we got there. So we can see all of these have latched, and we are now in. So fuel loading bays and status panel. Black indicates an empty bay, so there's only bay 1 in the center that is actually got fuel in it. Red indicates fuel secured in the upper chamber. Yellow indicates the fuel is loaded, and well, it looks like that one's the only one that's got something in there. So we can see we've got thermal efficiency, thermal factors, thermal electrical power, the pressurizer. So the pressurizer is a key component in a pressurized water reactor (PWR) nuclear power plant. It maintains the pressure in the primary coolant loop, which is essential for efficient heat transfer and to prevent the coolant from boiling. That probably wouldn't be good. The pressurizer contains both steam and water and uses heaters and spray nozzles to maintain a constant pressure. The pressurizer is also equipped with a number of important valves, including the main steam valve, which regulates the amount of steam that is allowed to leave the pressurizer and enter the turbine, and the pressure relief valve, which is a safety valve that is used to prevent overpressure in the primary coolant loop. It is crucial to control the pressurizer properly to maintain the correct pressure and prevent accidents. Here's the thing. Obviously, I'm going to assume, perhaps wrongly, that a lot of this is automagic these days, or computer control. This seems to be quite manual, and I don't think that one person would be put in charge of the entire thing on their own. But well, I guess that's how nuclear accidents can happen. So we've turned on the pressurizer readout. We haven't actually touched any of these. You can try and do that and it says disabled. The game is basically going, no, we're going to keep the stabilizers / training wheels on for that one. So yeah, we can see, actually when I've turned on there, we had a little bit of a spike there. I'm guessing that's because everything was off. So water temperature is at 17 degrees Celsius, and the saturation temperature is at 100. Fill level is fine, and everything else seems to be normal. Pressure needs to be ideally in the 160 range there, 160 bar that is, and not PSI. Right, we'll go over to the internal supply, and oh my good grief, it gets even worse. Right, so generators and emergency batteries. Generators and emergency batteries are critical components of a nuclear reactor safety systems. The generators are responsible for producing electrical power that is used to operate essential equipment and the systems. Even in the event of a power outage, emergency batteries provide backup power to ensure the continued operation of vital safety systems, such as cooling pumps and control systems in case of complete loss of power. In fact, I know there's obviously, horrible. There's been, some nuclear disasters, some worse than others. We're not going to sort of get into the detail of that. I'm sure you can think of a few, but I think a couple of them were because one of the backup generators were damaged and such, and yeah, it goes doesn't go too well when that happens. Anyway, let's see. That's the understatement of the century, isn't it? So everything is okay there. Fuel in the generator is fine. Fuel reserve is actually 0. That's not good. Okay. Consuming 0 kilowatts. The battery capacity is 120 kilowatts. Total energy generated is 240 kilowatts. Everything else is fine. So you've got internal consumption, all of the readouts again. And weather, I mean, why would that be a thing? Oh, I'm guessing actually that, excuse me, longer term, when you're on the sort of in the full game, there's demand by the system and by the actual external grid that you're powering. So I'm guessing if things get really cold, people will put on heating and things like that, and the demand will increase. That's, again, an assumption. Anyway, what's this one here? This is the reactor core. The core of a nuclear reactor is the central part of the reactor where nuclear reactions take place. The core contains enriched uranium, which undergo a controlled chain reaction to produce heat. The heat produced by the nuclear reaction is used to create steam, which drives turbines, blah, 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 blah. And we use control rods to mess with that. And again, I do say mess with that. And we'll turn that on. And we've got the reactor core, we've got vessel pressure, internal temperature, all of these are turning on, radioactivity, and xenon and iodine. Okay. There is a reaction, emergency stop. There will be a scram. Oh, there's the scram button. Control rods. The control rods of a nuclear reactor are used to regulate the rate of fission reactions and maintain a safe and stable operating condition. Only if they're built correctly. These rods are made of materials such as boron and cadmium, absorb neutrons, and can be inserted or removed from the reactor core to control the number of free neutrons and thus the rate of fission. The movement of the control rods is carefully monitored and controlled by the reactor operator to maintain a stable and safe operating condition, assuming they haven't been drinking beverages. In case of an emergency, the control rods can be inserted fully to the reactor core to stop the fission chain reaction and shut down the reactor. The effective and accurate control of the rods is crucial to ensure the safety and efficiency of a nuclear reactor. Good for it. Okay, so we will power that up, and that's his engine power. Control rod banks. We can see that bank 1, and then is that all of the control rods around there? It says 100. Is that the what that would that indicate the health of the control rods? I think things can get damaged. Coolant systems. So the primary coolant in a nuclear reactor is a fluid, typically water, that is used to transfer heat generated by nuclear fission in the reactor core to steam generator. The coolant is circulated through the reactor core by a pump, absorbing the heat produced by the nuclear reactions. The heated coolant then flows through a heat exchanger where it transfers the heat to a secondary coolant, which produces steam. Yes, so it's not going to be direct because that would be, well, I'm guessing the primary coolant would be highly radioactive. Is that right? I don't know. Anyway, transfers the heat to secondary coolant, produce steam to drive turbines and generate electricity. So the proper function of the coolant is crucial to the safe and efficient operation of the reactor. I think all of the readouts basically say the proper function of this panel is crucial to the safe and efficient operation of the reactor. And if failure loss of coolant result in a nuclear meltdown. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty important, that one. Okay, let's power this one up and get our readouts. There we go. So we've got our coolant. So it says we have circulation pumps. Coolant system pump 3 is, well, it's lit up, so it indicates that might be on, or at least for this one. You've got pressurizer, you've got temperature for the outer core vessel. Like I say, you know, I can imagine there'd be someone who's got many of 100 hours, even not more, on this thing, and probably knows this thing inside out. And good for them. I mean, I would love to be able to do something like that, but yeah, I don't know if I have the patience and/or intelligence to do that. Turbines, anyway. The turbine in a nuclear reactor work by converting the thermal energy generated by the nuclear reaction into mechanical energy, which is then used to generate electricity. The steam produced by the reactor's primary cooling system is sent to the turbines, causing them to spin. As the turbines spin, they turn a generator, which produces electrical energy that can be used to power homes, businesses, and other facilities. The process of turning turbines is carefully monitored to ensure that the reactor operates safely and efficiently. Control systems are used to regulate the speed and pressure of the steam flowing into the turbines, and safety features are in place to prevent this system from overloading or malfunctioning. And there's the synchroscope. Oh yeah, you have to get the right frequency and such, and that's oh yeah, that's a lot of readouts, and they're not on yet. Let me turn them on and get even more confused. And okay, oh, red. Whoa, what's that? That can't be good. That's con. Okay, connected. Main steam control valves. 3 is in red. It's not blowing up. We're okay so far. Last couple of information panels. Steam generator. The steam generator is crucial. The steam generator is a critical component of the nuclear reactor's secondary cooling system, which transfers heat from the primary coolant to drive steam turbines and generate electricity. The steam generator removes excess moisture from the steam before it enters the turbine, which helps prevent damage to the turbine blades and ensures efficient operation. The steam generator works by heating the incoming steam to vaporize any liquid droplets and separate them from the dry steam, then passes the dry steam into the turbine for energy generation. The proper functioning of the steam generator is essential for the safe and efficient operation of a nuclear power plant. So yeah, you don't want any liquids going in there. And we can see like temperatures of the steam generators and the temperatures and the pressures. And I'm going to double check something. So over here, yeah, let's see if I flick this switch, is anything going to change? No, because I think this is just the readout actually. Over to the condenser. Condenser is a nuclear reactor. It's responsible for transferring thermal energy produced in the reactor to secondary cooling system. The primary cooling system of the reactor transfers heat to the condenser, where hot water vapor is condensed back into liquid form, releasing the heat into the cooling water. Cooling water is then circulated back into the reactor to continue the cycle. Okay, yeah, so yeah, into steam, condenses back, rinse, repeat. Good. The cooling water is then circulated back. Yes, we read that. Proper functioning of the condenser is crucial in maintaining stable operating temperature. Without the condenser, the primary cooling system would quickly become overwhelmed and the reactor would overheat, leading to potentially safety hazards. Yes, indeed. So we're going to turn on the condenser and turn on the steam generator. Okay, so everything is green. Achievement. We have completed the turning on of things. Okay, so it's start up. Great job. Now that you've powered up the control stations, take some time to walk around and familiarize yourself with the gauges on each one. It's important to understand the purpose of each control. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to understand every panel. If I get 1%, I'd be exceptionally surprised. You can right-click with your mouse to enter that mode, and then point the gauge. What you want to learn about. When you're ready, we'll move on to the next step. So I did mention about that. You can hold right click, you can use a scroll wheel or W and S to zoom in there, so you got like thermal factor, that's alright. Everything looks okay. Basically, if these boards are not showing red, then everything is okay. I mean, all we've done in this last probably 47 minutes is basically turn on the gauges and go through the very basics. Let's go to the next step. Now we'll activate the plant's connection to the external power grid, so we don't have to rely on the generator set or emergency batteries. You should never use those unless it's an emergency. Consuming external power has a cost, but you can pay for it with the prestige points you earn by generating like energy. Please activate the switch to connect the plant to the external power grid and then turn on the powered gen set. So what it's telling us to do basically is we're going to use the grid to power up all of the ancillaries. I'm guessing then once they're up and running and then we're running on our own power, then we can power our own things, and it's sort of self-sufficient supply. If everything fails, then we can either go to the grid or we can go finally to the internal supply with things like emergency batteries or generators. So yes, I think that's what it's saying. So external supply we will turn to on. There we go. Energy is green, and then we'll go to generator 1, and there's 3 generators. Oh no, 2 generators. We'll say automatic. There we go, and that's now on. Is it? Shows us percentage of fuel per hour. We are on our external power supply. Excellent. Let's start preparing the reactor. First, we'll turn on the pressurizer. It's crucial to maintain the pressure of the entire system within the operating range. In a pressurized water reactor, we don't want the pressure to drop. Turn on the pressurizer heaters and the thermostat so that the computer control the temperature. Once the pressure has reached at least 150 bar, we can proceed. So pressurizer is over here, so there is the pressure, so we need to reach at least 150 bar. Okay, and in order to do that we will turn on the thermostat, so like so. We will turn on the heating power like so, and then we will switch that. Oh, can we not adjust that? We can't. I'm just going to double check the right here, and I guess I do make some apologies, but yeah, it's just going to happen. I'm going to be checking this right-hand side tutorial bit a lot of the time and almost certainly misreading it. Anyway, water temperature is climbing quite steadily, actually. We can see that there. It's up to, it was 17 degrees when we originally looked at it. It's now up to 64 degrees C. And this is water temperature and saturation temperature. Actual water temperature in the pressurizer and the saturation temperature. The saturation temperature changes with pressure. Higher pressures means water needs to be hotter to boil. When water temperature reaches or exceeds the saturation temperature, steam begins to form, and then that's where the pressure will start to go up. So we're up to 107 degrees C, so we should start to generate some steam. So yes, it says turn on the pressurizer heaters so that the thermostat and the computer can control the temperature. Once pressure has reached at least 150 bar, we can proceed. So yep, that is now slowly going up. Heating power 100%, pressure relief is at 0. We can see heaters are on. Dry heaters, I'm guessing that means there's no water going to the heaters. Yeah, so you basically boiled it dry. Oh, that's flashing between green and yellow. This is where you would actually ideally you want the manual. Like I say, I have played several of these simulator games, and there's I've featured some of them on channel. I mean, the range from power generation to like milling machines to engine simulations, that sort of thing. There's even ones like the programming simulations and stuff, and a lot of them do come with like a printable manual, and yeah, some of them more complex than others. This is probably one of the most complex that I've ever tried, and yeah, I'm very thankful for the tutorial, but at least it's got something like that. Otherwise it would be completely impenetrable by mere mortals that I just wanted to give it a go. Pressure is rising anyway, so we're currently up to, according to that there, just under 64, but we can see in this detailed view that it says value is 70.31 it was there, operating range. So I'm hoping that it does say, it says on the right, the computer can control the temperature. Heating power is high and the thermostat is on. Is there like a set level that we can select? Oh, look at that. So water temperature is 300 odd, and then saturation is over 350. So is this like superheated steam now? Okay. Pressure is done. The primary system pressure is now at the required level for the reactor operation. Next, we will turn on the coolant circulation pumps. Remember that the pump should always be off when the pressurizer has just been turned on. Please activate the primary circulation pump and set its speed to 50. So let's just dissect that a little bit. Excuse me. Oh, look at that. The fill level's altering as well. So I'm guessing that's going to fluctuate based on, yeah, what this pressure is. So that's going to go up, and then it might actually start to head down a bit. It's sort of stopped at the moment. I don't know if that's because the simulation is paused because of the, we haven't done anything just yet, tutorial-wise. It says, yes, remember that the pumps should always be off when the pressurizer has been just turned on. I guess if the pumps are on, is it just going to pump this? Is it going to pump this around and then it's not going to build up that pressure? That's sort of what it feels like. I'm looking forward to the comments of people who obviously understand the detailed processes of nuclear reactions and the operation of a nuclear reactor to correct me on this one. Okay, so we'll go over to coolant systems and we will go to circulation pump. We'll turn on pump 3, click, and then we'll set that to medium, which is going to be what, 50%? Well, it's medium. Actually, yes, ordered is 50.
Has started to circulate.
That's an ominous voice. So, set the speed to 50. So we've ordered 50, and the current flow is up to 8. What's this here? This is the freight pump. To load the core pool coolant tank, valve M01 and M03 must be closed, and valve M02 must be open. And moving on. I'm assuming that's not how the training works. Yeah, just move on, you'll be fine. How is the pressurizer doing? It is fairly stable. That is good. Everything seems to be working all right. These red lights aren't flashing, so that's always good. Core reactive is red. Guessing it's not on. We can see that the pressure vessel, vessel pressure is going up. Internal temperature is only 18, so it's basically just essentially room temperature. All the radioactivity is down to 0 and such. And let's see how we're doing over here. Not that one, this one. We're up to 40 on the current percentages for the PCP, primary circuit coolant flow speed. What's all this? Can we turn on the other pumps? No, tutorial is not allowing that. Okay. Primary circuit coolant tank is that 1,000 litres? It's 120,000 litres. Start up. Let's go back to tutorial here. The primary circuit circulation is now stabilized. Let's turn on the cooling circuit pump to prepare the condenser. This is a good time to observe the main valve panel where you'll find details of each circuit. Now turn on the cooling pump and set its speed to 50. I know where that is. It's over here. So we will say turn on the coolant circuit and then we'll set that to medium. Okay, so again ordered 50% and then the current will go up. So we've as far as I can tell, and again this is a big guesstimation on my part, we've done a pre-pressurization, we've fired up the coolant around that, and then we're turning on the condenser flow, the cooling circuit. Yeah, okay. And obviously these are all color coded. Does that actually mean anything here? Condenser, so steam generator 3, that's in green, so steam generator. What over here? Any of that altered? Don't think so. Okay, well, what do all these do? Loads of different valves. I wonder if there's any events in the game later on, so like you can just randomly have breaks and faults and things like that that you have to worry about. In the center here, I even point out, shows you like the things like time, the demand, how much you're delivering, your service compliance, and you know that. So not only are you having to make sure that this thing works, you're having an external forces on your system as well. So you know the grid's wanting a certain amount of power, and you have to sort of match that and do everything there. We've got the cooling circuit flow up to 45%. Speed limited by wear or damage, so that'll come on. I think, like I say, you can go out there and wander around and repair stuff. Oh, I didn't go over here. What's this? This is loading circuit protocol. Right. The game is not telling us to mess around with that, so we're not going to. Begin by preparing the condenser's vacuum system. First, open the steam turbine bypass valve to route steam from the evaporators directly into the condenser. Next, open the startup motive steam inlet valve to send a portion of that steam to the steam jet ejector. Make sure the condenser return valve is fully closed. Right, I'm going to get onto that at some point. Right, okay, let's see if we can do that in sequence. So, firstly, open the steam turbine bypass valve to route steam from the evaporators directly in the condenser. What's this say? So, it says, not that one. Turbines bypass valve. Okay. It doesn't tell me what to put it to. So, the other ones have got 50%. So let's put it 50. Right. So, first open steam turbine bypass valve to route steam from the evaporators directly to the condenser. Turbine bypass valve. Right. Next, open the startup motive steam inlet valve to send a portion of that steam to the steam jet injector. Make sure the condenser... the condensate return valve is fully closed. That's the condensate return valve. That is fully closed. So this one just needs to go to... Let's put that to 50% as well. You can use either your mouse or we're going to use A and D, and that's 50% as well. Okay. So let's see what happens there. Do I need to increase this? Do I need to put it to 100% bypass? I don't know. Make sure the condensate return valve is fully closed. Condensate return valve, yes. So when you're unsure, what you can do in this tutorial is wander around, and it will highlight anything that you need to be looking at. I think I will. Oh, not that one. It's this one. Let's just put that to 100% bypass. There we go. Valve's opening 100%. What's this here? Condensate balance. The rate of liquid extracted from this condenser must equal the rate of the steam arriving from the turbines and condensating in water. Under normal circumstances, there should be no evaporation. Would that mean a leak? I don't know. Vacuum pump. What have we got here? Retention tank fill level, motive steam flow rate, retention tank pressure. Is there not just a button to turn it on? Like an on and off? Well, actually there is an off. It's that. Scram. Right. Do I need to alter anything? So I'm going to double check the tutorial. I said I was going to have to probably go through this one again. Firstly, open the steam turbine bypass valve to route steam from the evaporators directly to condenser. So, turbine bypass valve. Yes. Done. I can't alter the one? No, I can't. Right, next open the startup motive steam inlet valve. Startup motive steam inlet valve. To send a portion of that steam to the steam jet injector. Well, I hope that's alright. Shall I do more? When in doubt, more power. I can't imagine putting it to 100 is the way to go because it said a portion. Make sure that the condensate return valve is fully closed. Oh, I guess that's done. Okay, I guess we did have to put it to 100%. I assumed, perhaps obviously wrongly, that because everything else was at, say, 50%, it's telling us to Good grief. Wouldn't let me sprint there for some reason. Yeah, I just assumed it was 50%. Anyway, it says, now is a good time to request permission from the city. You can't deliver power to the grid without authorization. Activate your tablet, press tab, select the COM icon, and inform the city that you want to start operations. You will have to wait a few minutes for the city to respond with the time. You can start delivering power. When you receive the response from the city, we can continue. So there's the tablet. Okay. You got all these readouts. Supplies and spare parts. There's the objective. Complete the objectives to earn prestige points. Use your tablet to turn on the operational assistant. I think we've already got that. It's called the tutorial. Enter the supply building. Enter the turbine generator building. Should we have a look around actually? While we're not doing much else, let's have a quick look around. Control room, reactor core, generator turbine room, decontamination room. Hang on. Ooh, hang on. Wait. Generator turbine. Let's look at the turbine, shall we? This is doing a bit of urbex before it was abandoned. Oh, boo! Tutorial. And well, we tried. Nah, okay, right. Star Trek doors won't go. It open up, so that's fine. Right. Let's go back. Let's request authorization. Imagine this multiplayer. I don't think it has it, but imagine that. Doing this co-op. That would be cool. That would be, I mean, you would lose friends very, very quickly. Start operations. So, send authorization is requested for the commissioning of the reactor. So, we'll do that. So, comms. Received nucleus. We are coordinating the request for startup of the reactor. We will confirm shortly. Alright, what else have we got on this tablet here? Status of things, help, different audits, no schedule audits, operating assistant. This is how to turn things on and off, remote control, center charger. Oh, so I'm guessing is this just like an automagic button? You say, turn it on, do it, whatever. Yeah, maybe that is. Okay. Again, these games can often be quite impenetrable when it comes to the difficulty curve. And it's not really a curve, it's more of a sheer cliff. Especially when you see a manual that's extensively long and the tutorial is non-existent. But this one, like I say, it seems to be holding hand quite well so far. Unread notifications. Comms receiving start operations at 1 PM. Okay. Now let's activate the resistance bank. If the turbines start generating power, you must deliver it to the city or the resistance bank. If you don't deliver the generated power, the turbines will be damaged. Activate the resistance bank, which should be over here, surely? No, over here. Energy generation. Resistor bank switches. Let's turn the first one on. Okay. So we've activated that. Excellent, we have authorization from the city and the cooling system is active. We are now ready to move forward. Now, set the operating mode to nominal so that the central computer knows you're about to start the reactor. Then execute the insertion of the fuel block into the core. Ooh, now we're getting onto some serious stuff. Once you've completed the insertion, you'll be able to one step away from initiating the chain reaction and starting the reactor. So I think one of the controls is over here. Yes, so operation mode is now going to nominal. There we go. And then we will load the fuel, and there we go. So the core is coming from containment into... Oh, actually, will it be over here? So will this be glowing blue now? Will we get a general thing? Blue glow? No, I guess it's no reaction yet. The reactor is ready to initiate the chain reaction. Slightly withdraw the control rods, so they're fully inserted. Okay. Once you've done that, the core will start to heat up. The primary circuit will carry the thermal energy to the evaporators, and the steam produced will drive the turbines. Take some time to analyze the plant status. Once your reaction's begun, you won't have time. Position the control rods at 93%. Well, the status, I think, is all right. This is now in yellow to indicate that I'm guessing that it's well, if I was to do, can I unload the fuel? No, I can't. So I guess unload that would go to red. We can see if the temperature for the fuel is in the green because it's not doing anything. Value is 25 so far. And anyway, let's go over to here. And we've got a keypad. So this is the rod height. This will be in percentage. So we want to say 93%. So it's only a 7%, withdrawal of the rods. And it's rising, and oh, we get some blue glow on the core on the left there. We've got the camera to indicate that, and let's have a quick look. Will this be now bubbling and showing some stuff? Oh, there's a blue glow. Look at that. There you go. That's done. Excellent. The chain reaction has now begun. Now we must wait for the reactor to reach critical mass. Critical mass is the amount, the minimum amount of material necessary for a self-sustained nuclear chain reaction to take place. The reactor has reached critical mass. Oh, that's easy enough done. Oh, okay. That's a thing. Right. It's going. Hopefully it's working. The reactor's reached critical mass. Oh.
And its status has changed to reactive.
Okay, and oh, look at that. Was that always spinning before? I can't remember. So, the reactor's reached critical mass. We have reached the point of no return. If you want to shut down the reactor now, we should initiate the shutdown protocol. The temperature will continue to rise. Monitor the evaporator. When the steam pressure starts to rise, the steam will drive the turbines, but this will also cause a decrease in volume within the evaporator. Wait until the evaporator increases its internal pressure. Okay, and it's over here, isn't it? And yeah, there it is. So the steam generator, there's the pressure for the steam generator 3, and the internal pressure is currently at 2.54, and it's slowly going up. All right. See, this is where I was like having questions now. Like, what? I mean, there's obviously several I've got, but have we got another comm? No, we're fine. Like, for example, you know, once this is on, like the heating and stuff, like, is this now self-sustaining? Would you need to use like external heating to do it, or is it self-sustaining? I don't know, but oh, look at that. We've got gauges, and they're doing some readout stuff. That's the technical term, obviously. Thermal power / electrical power. We can see that thermal power is going up, but there is that electrical power? Megawatts? No, it's in blue. I guess we haven't reached that point now. The coolant volume within the evaporator has started to decrease. Now it's time to turn on the pumps that return the condensed coolant inside the condenser back to the evaporator. It's important to maintain this situation in equilibrium. Turn on the secondary circuit pump and set its speed to 50%. So we will turn it on, and we'll go to medium. There we go. And yes, what's this here? This is the evaporator balance. The rate of steam generated by this evaporator must equal the rate of liquid running in from the condenser. Yes, we've already read that before in the past there. What's that? Steam outlet. Well, it's at 9 kilograms per min. Alright. Cooling pump 1 and pump 3. Pump 01, pump 01. Why is it 2? Oh, that's the cooling pump, and that's the circulation pumps. Right, okay. Let's have a look over here. Pumps on. Going through the cooling towers. Back to the condenser. Okay. Where are we at? Sets to 50%. Pressure's going up on the steam generator. Secondary circuit coolant flow speed is currently at 37. And there's the flow speed there as well. So you can set the different ones for the 3 different steam generators. We need to generate power by, it says, or we said that we can start sending it, or we want to start sending it at 1300. And it is 1242 currently. Excellent, the circuit is complete. The core heats the coolant. The main pump transfers that heat to the evaporator, where the pressurized steam is generated. The steam then travels to the condenser, where it's cooled and condensed, finally sent back to the evaporator. Proceed when ready. So it's a fully closed loop here. Steam is entering the ejector and creating a vacuum, but not enough since only one turbine is active. Turn on the vacuum pump to boost the ejector's capacity, but only once the retention tank has reached 50%. Retention tank. Retention tank fill level shows the retention tank fill level. Empty, the vacuum pump loses gas supply and can't maintain vacuum. If full, ejector discharge is blocked, causing back pressure and increased condenser pressure. Yes, so it's like doing a self-portrait while juggling 12 plates. There's service compliance up here. Time generating energy. I mean, is the game allowing me to just... Will it allow me just to start messing with things? I mean, probably. Like, for example... Oh, no, I was going to say, can we just alter the rod height? I did mess around with this in a previous attempt, and I went from 93 to, I think it was 85. And it was less than a minute before the entire building and all of the lights started flashing red. Loads of these warnings came on. I basically just put it to 93 and eventually it fixed itself. But I'm assuming that caused some damage and other things. So I just walked away. Oh, we've got bubbles. Okay, I don't know if that's good or not, but there you go. There's the crane, I'm guessing, for loading and unloading. What's all that over there? Is that those new fuel canisters? There's one there. I think that's another one, because this can have a total of 9, I believe. Yes, possibly. How we're doing for the retention tank? It's taking ages. So what you can do, press G for the Geiger counter. It's fine. You can also press T for time, and you can speed things up. So let's zoom in. Oh, what's that there? It says the maximum. I couldn't go to maximum speed, but we're up to faster speed. So this is filling up. We've already gone past the time when we should be supplying. So the demand is starting 10 megawatt hours. We've already passed our allotted time. This is rising coming up to 20 now. 20%. It's a fill level, so it's not based on percentage. It's based on percentages rather than PSI or liters or anything like that. Over halfway to where we need to go. 50% is where it needs to do that. Vacuum pump is startup mode. Would we have to switch that to operational mode in but a moment? Motive steam flow rate is up. Amount of steam entering the ejector and generating a vacuum in the condenser. Steam may come from the evaporators during startup or from the steam turbines during normal operation. So yeah, once things are going, it's sort of self-sufficient essentially. I think that's what it's telling me. At the top there, it's showing a little bar showing I think that's a percentage of... Let me slow this down again. Percentage of how much fuel we've got. I think on the top left there, there's like a nuclear/radiation symbol, whatever it happens to be. And it says full red. Then I think it's prestige, power, and then whatever the other bit is. So, complete the objective. The retention tank is now sufficiently filled. The vacuum pump relies on the retention tank to maintain vacuum pressure. If the tank is empty, the pump lacks the necessary gas volume to operate. Activate the vacuum pump and wait until the condenser drops to less than 0.1 bar. Turn that on. And it's currently on startup mode. So now, is that going to drop the pressure? Oh, the vacuum's increasing, which is what we wanted. Temperature's at 29. So the vacuum will get to hopefully 100%, and then the pressure will drop to pretty much 0, because then the system is in full vacuum. That's now gone to green. The pressure's now dropping. I mean, I'll pretend to look at these and see everything's alright. Resistor bank. Oh yeah, are we still going to the resistor? Condenser has successfully reached vacuum and required operation pressure for plant operation. You may now direct the steam flow to drive the turbines. Move forward when you are ready. Okay, so what have we done so far? Well, truth be told, I can't remember the exact sequence, but obviously we went through all of the panels and got a brief overview of what they do. We did some initial heating of the pressurizer. We turned on the... Was it the internal supply? No, that was later on. Yeah, cooling systems were turned on, all of the pumps, and then the condensers and such. Right, let's just go to the next one. Fully close the steam turbine bypass valve and the startup motive steam inlet valve, then open the operational motive steam inlet valve to 30%, switch the vacuum pump to operational mode. Good grief. Right, let's go through that in sequence. Yeah. What we need now is someone flinging a clipboard at us, don't we?
I haven't reviewed. We only just found out we're there. Review it.
Or was it a folder? Anyway, fully close the steam turbine bypass valve. So let's have a quick look. It's over here. Turbine bypass valve fully closed, it said. So, oh, hang on. We have to press and hold. So, fully close the steam turbine bypass valve. So, this is the turbine bypass valves, as shown on, well, the words. And fully close the steam turbine bypass valve, yes. And the startup motive steam inlet valve. Startup motive steam inlet valve. Let's turn that to 0. Then open the operational motive steam inlet valve, which is this one, to 30%. Just feather that up. And I'll wait until that goes to the current 30. Yes, that's fine. Switch the vacuum pump to the operational mode. And here we go. Just waiting for an explosion. Oh, lights switching. We've got some condenser balance here, altering. Well, I mean, I've done what it says, I think. Fully close the steam turbine bypass valve. Oh, right. The valve is currently shutting. There you go, look. Maybe I should have waited for that to close. I would assume, perhaps wrongly, that it does actually simulate that, you know, the time it takes to open and close, and you can mess things up, and, you know, you can end up having different like fluids and gases go like wrong way and all sorts of. Oh, the synchroscope's going. So that means that actually we're spinning turbines now, I'm guessing. City clearance has arrived, but you won't be able to do so unless you've synchronized the turbine. At this time, any generated power will be diverted to the resistance banks. If you exceed the capacity of the banks, the turbine will be damaged. The resistance banks basically just, yeah, it just resists, and you probably turn that into heat and then just just blasting that into the air. I'm guessing that's what it's probably going on here. Okay. At the time, any generated power will divert resistance banks, yes. If you exceed the capacity, turbine, yes. Damage, yes. Use the bypass valve to, if necessary, to reduce the turbine, turbine's power. When you're ready, we will move to the next step. I'm guessing then. So this is the generator, the third generator. So it's generating. Nearly 3 kilowatts. RPM is currently 311. Voltage, is that voltage? Yes. Is that 2,500 volts? 2.5 kilovolts. The hertz is at 0.61, and the ampage is 0. So I'm guessing we have to get, or the max RPM is 3,600. I'm guessing the hertz level has to be 50 or 60. Obviously it'll depend your country. It's saying the bus it wants a megawatt. It wants 22,000 volts. Is that right? City voltage demand in real time. That's a lot. And, oh yeah, it is 50 hertz. Okay. Well, basically, I can't really do anything other than wait. Now it's time to use the synchroscope to synchronize the frequency of the electricity generating turbine within the city's requirements. When you're ready, we'll move on to the next step. We'll proceed to synchronization. First, you need to increase the reactor's power until the RPM of the generating turbine is close to the operating value. The synchroscope controls will only help you with the final fine-tuning. Increase the power until the turbine's RPM is as close as possible to the operating speed. Okay, we get to alter the fuel rods. 95. No, I can't exit. Pin 1, 2, 3, 4. No, let's not do that. Exit. Let's go for we were on, was it 93? Let's go to 90, and that's going to alter the rod height. And let's see if we get any any red. Pressure vessel is in the green still. Is going up a little bit. Temperature is rising, as one would assume. Radioactivity is in the yellow, subcritical state. No self-setting chain reaction. I guess that, again, this is all simulated, so it'll be based on a lot of flow statuses and volumes and other words. What I mean is that it'll take some time to other things to catch up. Okay, I reckon, you know what? I reckon I've played, let's go at 97. I've played a lot of, 93, set. That's how we mess things up. Yeah, I've played, like, say, several of these games, and often it's a fine balance. There's no, don't do anything major in one go. Just let things be steady. And I'm going to do that by keeping things as they are and basically just speeding up time because we have that power. And because things are still rising, you know, there's a huge amount of, you know, kinetic energy getting stored up in the turbines. You know, it's just getting, you know, it's just building up and building up and building up. There's a huge amount of mass to spin. So that's why it's taking some time. We're already up to 30 hertz, so we're approaching what we need, which is the 50. And so far, no flashy lights, no warnings. There's accumulated energy. Pressure's still good in there. Battery's fully charged. I'm hoping we don't need emergency stuff. Like I say, I don't know if there's, like, once you're running, and this is obviously the tutorial on how to start the thing up. And there's lots of different modes you can select, whether it be normal, easy, or sort of apprentice mode, which is what I'm on now. Which should be called the, oh bless, pat person on head type of mode. And yeah, basically you can, let me just put it to normal speed. And yeah, even within those modes, you can alter the difficulty slider as well. So lots of options there. Excellent. Now the RPMs are stable, but they're not within the operational range. Use the synchroscope to control and adjust the turbine RPM until they reach the operating value, and the synchroscope light stops rotating. The light should stop rotating at the 0 position at the top of the ring of lights. If the position is correct, the 2 green lights will turn on. Okay. So, synchroscope. What we're currently on? We're on 49.8 hertz. We need to get to as 50, close to 50 as possible. So I'm going to, it says it's too slow because it's going counterclockwise. So we're going to raise the RPM. So this is just gently altering. Oh yeah, you can lower it as well. Yeah, okay. This is gently altering the RPM. Let's just raise it a bit more. You can see this is slowing down. But I don't want to be too hasty on that. Oh, I've managed to get there. It needs to be in green though. Raise and lower. Nope, raise. Lower. Lower. Raise. Well, they're in green. You're almost there. Double check the reactor power settings. Okay. Oh, sorry. Well, I was going to double check, but it said double check this. So we need to be in we need to be on 22,000 volts. So is that 22 kilovolts? We're on 22001. I think we can allow that. Exactly 50 hertz. You've done it. The turbine is synchronized. Now you can close the synchroscope breaker and start delivering to the city. This is it. Please don't explode. Breaker's closed. Congratulations, you now have complete control of the reactor. Increase power according to demand or reduce it during off-peak hours. Remember to balance the power distribution between the core, evaporator, and condenser. Also ensure that the coolant volumes remain within operating ranges. And now it's basically give us control of the reactor. So, there we go. It is 2 hours late since we were due to turn this thing on. We have a demand of 10 megawatt hours. Delivering is 10 megawatts. And everything seems to be all okay. yeah, so that is a bit of nucleus. Well, there's accumulated energy there. So everything is now, well, I say everything. Things are now turned on and it is working. Obviously, there's lots more to do. Like, this is... If it's 10% of the game, I would be surprised. Like I said, this sort of thing is exceptionally complex, very detailed, and for those that want this sort of thing, then good grief, you're probably going to love it. Can I say that I'll be spending a huge amount of time trying to work this thing? I would like to, but good grief. It has a very high level of interest to me, and it's very intriguing. Whether or not I'll be able to cope with managing all this and actually getting everything down is probably a topic for another day, but I like to feature these sort of quirky, interesting games, especially the simulation stuff. We managed to turn it on, and that was what we set out from the beginning. Obviously, there's a huge amount of such things we haven't touched on. You've got your maintenance, different objectives there. I guess we could probably go down to... Can we go down to the generator room now, actually? I think so. Let's have a look. I think the tutorial's off now. But, where's this go? Outside? Yes. Is that a train? What? What is this? Oh, I thought it was a train carriage. What is it? It is, by the look of it. It goes nowhere. Oh no, it goes that way. Okay, maybe if this thing is going to go absolutely thermal, then maybe that's where we'll get on that. Let's have a quick look in here. Let's see, how am I stuck? Do not enter authorized personnel only. We're authorized. Radioactivity sensors in the green. There's the reactor core. Cool. The blue glow. Seems to be fairly safe around here. Look at the size of this thing. What's that over there as well? There's obviously... Is that a bit missing? I wonder if you can Oh, look at that. I wonder if you can, like, upgrade this thing. So maybe in the full... Like, well, this is the full version, but, like, in the non-tutorial bit, you upgrade, you enhance things, you get, you know, everything connected and basically improve the reactor. Is this the turbine hall? I don't know. Spare parts by the look of it. What's it? This is the generating turbine building. Is that the condenser? That'll be the condenser, right? Don't see you can alter the van. You can alter the valves yourself. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I think we will leave it there for now. That is the biggest loudspeaker I think I've ever seen. Like the size of a car. Yeah, that has been a bit of nucleus, as I said at the start. The objective was to see if we can fire this thing up and at least follow the tutorial. Highly detailed, if not totally accurate simulation. That's by the developer's own mission. It does say at the start that is, no, some things are truncated for the sake of gameplay and fun. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I don't know, like I say, how much more time I'll be shoving into it. But if you want to see more, if you have any tips, comments, suggestions, I would love to hear them. I can, yeah. Hang on, is this turned a little bit of a different colour? Is the colour temperature changed, or is there some sort of gases being pumped into here? I don't know, but it seems different. Anyway, like I said, let me know what you think. If there's any nuclear physicists out there, by all means let me know what we've done wrong, and what you think of this one. But yeah, that's been a bit of nucleus. Hope you've enjoyed it. Comments in the comments, as always. Thanks very much for watching, take care, and generic partings.